Hi, and welcome to my channel. Or if you're a returning subscriber, hi again. It's so nice to see you back here for another video. My name's Tess Lark, and today I'm going to show you how you can use trinkets, epoxy resin, and fairy lights to make a cute little Halloween-inspired diorama. As always, I'll have all of the materials that I'm using for this project linked in the description down below, so all of that information will be down there for you. And let's hop into today's project. I'm actually working on a couple large projects today, so I'm starting out by mixing up 400 milliliters of clear resin, and I'm using the 1-to-1 epoxy resin from Let's Resin. And to mix this up, I'm using my electric dual-headed mixer from Resiners. They were nice enough to send me this product, and I'm really loving it, especially for larger projects like this. I've got my mold set up with a little bit of tape. I don't know if you've seen my previous episode where I make an epoxy lamp using pressed flowers, but I'm trying to go for a more flat top edge, if that makes sense. So I have a little bit of tape on there just to try to keep that together. But yes, I'm really loving this automatic mixer from Resiners because I can set up my project as I'm mixing the resin. It saves a lot of time. I do find that I need to kind of adjust it a little bit to make sure that it's hitting the sides and the bottom, and I will scrape the sides and the bottom of the container before I move on to the next step. But if anybody wants to see a full-length walkthrough of how to use this mixer, let me know, because I've been toying with the idea of making a video that's dedicated just to that. Alright, and now that I have my resin mixed up, on to my next little nifty tool from Resiners. It's essentially a vacuum machine that pulls all of the air out of your resin. It's so cool. Just leave a comment, Resiners, if you want to see more in-depth tutorials or walkthroughs about these products, because I would love to share. I actually really love them. So I took 100 milliliters of this clear resin and I put it in another cup, and I mixed some black alcohol ink into that. Again, all of the materials that I use will be linked in the description. So I mix that up, and now I'm just going to pour that into the bottom, and I'm going to let this layer cure completely before we move on to the next step. So this video is really sped up, but take your time. These projects do take some time. And I did go to a local craft supply store to find all my little trinkets. I got this cute little skeleton guy and some fall colored silk flowers, and I will link some approximations in the description so you can shop online, but it's always fun to go and shop in person, see what's available, get inspired, and support the local businesses and people who work in them. But I got these pumpkins. There's some of them that are kind of messed up. They'll need a little bit of touch-up painting, but I can cut off a couple others that look pretty good. I also have my fairy lights, and I'll be using some jewelry pliers to cut off some of these pumpkins and some of my pieces of flowers. And I feel like now is a good time to remind you that if you are enjoying this video or finding it informative, please don't forget to give it a like. It not only helps out my channel a whole lot, it also lets me know that I'm making content that you guys want to see from me. And while you're at it, why not subscribe to see more crafting videos from me? Or if you have a crafty friend in your life, maybe send a video along. But I'm testing my fairy lights to make sure they work and getting them untangled, and then I'm going to start to assemble my piece. Also, if you happen to notice little cuts and scratches on my hands, everything's fine. I have a kitten in the house, so just blame her, okay? But let's put these fairy lights around and kind of through the skeleton. I'm hoping that I can get some light through the chest cavities. So I'm really going to shove those fairy lights up into this guy's chest cavity. I'm sorry, my dude. I don't think that it hurts him, so I think we're good. And I'm not sure if you clocked it earlier, but I thought that I would lay these pieces down with some E600 glue, but that did not work. So we're moving on and using hot glue instead. And the reason that I'm gluing down my individual pieces is because I want to have more control over the composition, and I don't want things to float around as they're curing in the resin. Things get really liquidy, so things tend to kind of move a little bit. So I'm just kind of anchoring these pieces down. They don't need to be glued down completely, but just enough so that they're not going to float when I pour in my clear resin. When I'm designing my backgrounds, I usually start with the greenery, so I put down a couple leaves, and then I put in a couple taller pieces that I know are going to fill up the majority of the space, and then I kind of go in and add some details into a couple corners, so cutting off some of these smaller flowers to add them on individually instead of adding the entire stalk of flowers. But I do like some of the stems. I think that's a really nice look, like the spindly stems in the background. This was a mistake though. I will tell you, all of these little beads from that last piece that I put down kind of floated. I had to fish a lot of them out, and I would not recommend. But you live and you learn, right? I feel like a part of art is just the discovery of everything and testing things, trying different things out, seeing what works, and adjusting your process for the next piece. It's all just a learning process. My skeleton is a little bit leaning. I understand. I told my husband, I was like, I think he's leaning a little bit, and he said, it doesn't matter, he's dead, he doesn't care. But the placement of this one pumpkin that's up in the kind of top right hand side just kind of shifted everything over a little bit. I kind of got him to stand up a little bit straighter, but it's all good. I think it's looking pretty good, so my next step is going to be to pour in my clear resin. But first I'm going to do my best to really tightly tuck this cord into the side of my mold so it doesn't float. So I've got another 300 milliliters of epoxy resin that I've mixed, run through my vacuum machine to get all the bubbles out. And for this, I'm using the deep pour epoxy from Let's Resin because I'm pouring such a large quantity. I don't want it to cure too quickly and for me not to be able to work with it and get some bubbles out. So that's why I'm using the deep pour. And again, I will have all the materials that I use linked in the description. So I'm just gonna pour a layer of clear resin over this until everything is submerged, and then I'm gonna hit it with my heat gun to pop some of these bubbles that are forming. And I am gonna babysit this piece a little bit and try to pop some bubbles as they're coming up, but not too long because I don't want to mess with the resin too much. But after that, I'll cover it up completely, and I can't wait to see what it's like when it's cured. I'm already really happy with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, so I went ahead and I let my piece set up overnight, so it's fully cured, nice and solid. Let's go ahead and pop it out of the mold and see how it turned out. So I'm just gonna work my way around the outside. It's a super deep pour. There we go. He's so cute. I definitely did get some bubbles in here, and I think that if I were to do this project again, or what I would recommend to you, is sealing the pumpkins, maybe with some sort of Mod Podge to keep that air inside of them, because the pumpkins really did let off a lot of air, so I do have some air bubbles. But overall, I am really happy with this piece. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of it in the comments down below. I think it's gonna look so cute on my bookshelf with all of my little fall decorations. And I'll also make sure to get some shots of this in the natural light so you can see it a little bit better. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. And if you did make it all the way to the end, leave me some sort of Halloween themed comment or emoji just to get really festive in the comments below. And before you go, let me know what you're working on. Do you have any crafts in mind? Is there anything that you'd like to see me try? I always love getting inspired from you guys. I hope that you're having a fun and crafty, cozy season, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!